Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on episode 12 of Free Eternal Summer, and it is the penultimate episode before the season finale, and we're going to Australia. I I didn't see it coming. I was like, oh, okay, well, Ren's going to go have his adventure in Australia, and we'll tie that back to the plot somehow, but no, he's dragging Haru along with him. It's going to be a road trip. I don't know what to expect from this. Ever since regionals, it's all been uncharted waters with Free, and I have been living for it. I've been here for it. I love what they've done the last couple of episodes, and this one, I'm like, I don't know what to expect, guys, but I'm really excited. And the best part is, it's not even the season finale, because we got to go to nationals, and that's going to be the season finale. It's like, what? I'm assuming. And it's like, the only thing is that we're going into this, the last two episodes of this series, and we still don't have any other members on Iwatobi Swim Club. And I know I've been hammering that this whole season, but it's been in the back of my mind that Samazuka's going to be fine. They got like a slew of freshmen. They're good. But I'm like, Iwatobi, Ray, and Nagisa need some new blood, or the swim club's done. So, and I know that's not going to happen, right? Because we have a third season, right? So, what are we doing? So, I'm so curious. I have lots of questions, and I feel like most of them are not going to be answered until this episode, at least. And probably next episode. So, I don't know, guys, but I am so intrigued by Rin Haru adventures in Australia. I really am excited. So I don't know what to expect, which is usually going into Free. From the preview, I have an idea of what's going to come because they kind of hint at it a little bit. But in this last episode, it was just like landscape shots. So I'm like, I don't know what to make of that. I'm really excited, guys. So we shall see. But yeah, this is episode 12, Swim Off in a Foreign Land. So I'm wondering if Rin was invited to do a swim competition and he's bringing Haru along. And I'm wondering if Makoto had something to do with it as well, because I didn't talk about it in last week's reaction, but Mako had texted or called Rin right before the whole fireworks festival thing. So I wonder if Mako told Rin hey, this is the deal with Haru. Will you do this for me? And I'm wondering too if after Haru's blow up with Mako, if Mako texted Rin and was like, okay, damage control, it's worse than we thought. Can you help? That's what I'm wondering. Because Mako, he bared his soul last episode. All of them did. Ray and Nagisa both. And Haru's having a hard time with change. So what better way to help your friend that has a hard time dealing with change than uproot him and take him to a foreign country for the weekend? Seems legit. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this reaction with me. I've loved this second season. It's been so much fun, and we have so much more Free to go. So let's just get down to it. We're gonna watch episode 12 of Free here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh no. Oh, guys. That episode. That was wonderful. That was so freaking precious and wonderful. I needed that. I needed that shot of happiness in my system. That was just so good. What I've loved about this series is that Rin and Haru, whether you ship them, whether you don't, I'm a multi-shipper, so I could see the Rin Haru, but I kind of, if I'm being honest, I might prefer Haru and Mako and Shin and Sosuke, and Haru and Mako and Rin and Sosuke more, maybe? That's just right now. That may change because I've not watched the OVA or season 3, so that may change. But right now, I see Rin and Haru as like yin and yang. They're both like best friends that make each other better competitive wise, like competition wise. Like Rin said, he's like, I saw you as a swimmer that I wanted to beat. And you're like my rival. It's like Sosuke viewed Rin as a rival. Rin views Haru as a rival, right? And so Rin's like, I wanted you to keep swimming, and I wanted you. He's like, I'm sorry, and I'm glad that Rin apologized. And he's like, I was projecting my own ambition and my own dreams onto you, and that was wrong. So I'm glad that Rin apologized for that. That he's like, no, I wasn't listening to what you were trying to tell me. I was just trying to project myself. But I like the idea that Rin's like, I want you to keep swimming because he's like, I want to have somebody to like follow and try to be better than. And if you quit, then who am I going to do that with, right? And I love that Haru was so thrown out of his element that he had nothing, that he couldn't do anything but listen and observe. Because Haru's been very reactionary this season and just instantly shoving things away. And he's been within the confines of stuff he's comfortable with, so he could do that. But here, he was totally out of his element. He doesn't speak English well. He doesn't understand English. He didn't know what Lori and Russell were saying at all. He was like, what? And he just kind of had to sit there and observe. And Haru being out of his element and being forced to like listen to people and kind of just sit there and stew on it, I think was what he needed. And I like that I thought Mako suggested he take Haru with him, but Mako didn't even know he was going to take him. And I like that Nagisa and Rei are like, is everything going to be okay? And Mako's like, it's fine. Haru needs this time away. He'll come back better than ever. And I think he honestly will. Like, Haru got a taste of seeing, because that was his fear, right? Haru was afraid of being on the national stage and kind of like Rin feeling like he wouldn't belong there. But then when that guy like got up to me, he was like, hey mate, let's swim. And it's like, oh, it like etched out all his fears. It's like, and he could see himself in that position, which I think was so good. Also, I mean guys, I like that Rin's like, yeah, I've admired you and we're best friends, and you know, I really admire how you swim and everything. And and Russell and Lori are like, so tell us, remember that time you were talking up Haru a lot? And he's like, stop. But okay, the hotel, what fanfic fodder. That's like, and then there was only one bed. And it's like, you guys, I love how it's such a trope in anime, the one bed situation, when it's hilarious. These guys are friends. And I think of all the times, I guess in Western culture with like the US, it's no big deal. Because I can think of all the times I've traveled with friends and we've had to share a bed and it's like not a big deal. It's like nothing. But then these two guys from Japan are like, what, sharing a bed? No! And the Australian. I love how they say, it's because your name sounds girly. Like the Australian woman would know what the Japanese meaning is, that that's a feminine name. That's so good. That was so funny. But, oh my gosh. Rin's VA having to speak English, I'll listen to it all day. I'm just saying. The only thing that was weird about it was that the actors that were, the voice actors for those that were speaking Australian, they sounded like Japanese voice actors that were speaking Australian. So there was like an uncanny valley. Like it almost sounded like a Microsoft Sam. He's like, hello, welcome to the program. It was like, it didn't sound totally natural, but I understand. You do what you got to do. You do what you got to do in the moment. And that was so wonderful. But just the calmness, like Haru's had all this anxiety and angst building up in him for like the last 12 episodes. And this episode, he just gets to go and let it all out and just be at peace with himself. That was so good. That was so good. And Rin coming clean about everything and about going to Australia and his anxieties and like them getting the chance to talk to one another. Like, that was just really good. But now Haru seems to have an idea of what he wants to do. I cannot see him going to Australia though. Like Rin says, he's been scouted by the team there in Australia. I could see Rin going to Australia. I could, and then just coming back and forth to Japan. But I can't see Haru, because Rin can speak English. So for Rin, the communication barrier is a lot lower than for Haru. Like was having a hard enough time coming to grips with the fact that he wouldn't be near his friends. But if you were like, oh, and by the way, you've got to learn to speak English now on top of that, like, I feel like, I don't think Haru's going to go to Australia, but I think that he's going to decide that he wants to keep swimming and maybe try to go pro with it. Or at least do it in college, which would be great. Because it goes back to the whole thing with Sosuke. Like, Sosuke is like, I want to swim, but I can't. But I can't. And Haru can swim, so it's like, why would you waste all that talent? So, yeah, this episode was great, guys. It wasn't long enough. It was not long enough. I wanted to see more with the swimming guys. I want to see more with which it looks like from the next episode that they're finishing it off and having them come back. So maybe we'll get something with the Australian swimmers. That would be really cool. Or maybe they'll come in a later episode, especially if Rin ends up going to Australia. Maybe we'll go back to them. But, like I said last episode, episode 10 was so Rin. Episode 11 was Mako Haru. And this episode was definitely Haru Rin. Or Rin Haru. And the last episode is everybody coming together for nationals. It's going to be interesting. And I can't wait. So, in the meantime, guys, this episode was wonderful. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. Please feel free to comment. Please, no spoilers, but let me know what you thought about the episode. And, next week is the season finale. I finished up Banana Fish this week. So, for the first time in 6 months, since I started Free and I started Banana Fish, I won't have an episode of Banana Fish to watch before Free. It feels wrong. I'll be honest. It feels wrong. But what can you do? So, I'm excited, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And next week is the season finale for season 2 of Free Eternal Summer. See you guys then. Bye.